Good morning, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man. And today, we're talking about the Sony CS5. Currently $73 on Amazon. 73 or 74. Is it an audiophile speaker at $73? Or grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and let's talk about the Sony CS5. All right, this speaker's been reviewed a bit. It's a good speaker. It's a great speaker. It's an outstanding speaker. Has over 1,000 reviews on Best Buy. 4.7 out of 5. It has 960 reviews on Amazon. 5 stars. Does it always make a difference? Not always. There's some Polks that I have, and I reviewed those, and people on Amazon loved them, and I didn't particularly care for them. Let's talk about the drivers, though. So it has a 5.12, and I found it kind of interesting that Sony got so specific about the driver size, 5.12. So it's very important that you know that it's 0.02 larger, 2/100ths of an inch larger than just a 5.1. It's a 5.12, a 0.98 inch, so it's not a 1 inch, it's a 0.98 inch tweeter, and a 0.75 inch, it's the only reasonable measurement, 0.75 inch super tweeter. And their frequency response is spec'd at 53 hertz up to 50,000 hertz. So what did I test them with? I changed it up a bit today. I tested them with Some Kind of Blue by Miles Davis, most of the record. I tested them with Nirvana, Unplugged. It's a great record. So is Some Kind of Blue. It's a fantastic record. Like, it was recorded like in the 50s, and it's incredible. AC/DC, Back in Black. Shoot to Thrill, Highway to Hell, stuff like that. And we'll get into how it sounds in a second. Soundstage and imaging, very, very good. And I'm not just saying very good for a speaker of this price. I'm saying very good, period. So, So What is the first song on that Some Kind of Blue record. It seemed wide, it seemed high, it seemed deep. Imaging was good. I could pick out all the different instruments. It's just good. It's good. It's better than a lot of speakers that cost a lot more money. Let's talk about bass. So, let's get the cat out of the bag. It needs a subwoofer to sound its best. And that's pretty obvious for anything that has a 5 or 4 inch woofer. It needs a subwoofer. The cabinet size is about the size of a shoebox. They're rear ported, which helps because if you get these closer to the wall, you're going to improve their bass response if you're not using a subwoofer. You can get away with not using a subwoofer. I don't think the speakers really shine, and I don't think they can shine because they only go down to 50 and 50. They go down to 50. They do. I think the bass response on these is as good, if not better, than the Klipsch R51M, which is a $144 speaker on sale. These are $73 or $74 speaker. Just go buy them. I mean, seriously, go buy them and see if everyone's right. The cool thing is if you don't have a sub, you can get a little Fuzzy Audio Class D amp that has tone controls and just turn it up. I did find that I did a review of the best speakers under $200. I did find that these, unlike the Klipsch, responded very well to tone controls. So they maintained their tonality, they maintained their cohesiveness even when I turned up the bass. Or what I like to do is turn down the treble a bit. When you're doing tone controls, it's always better to find the sound that you like by turning it up, and then when you find that sound, go back on whatever you're trying to turn down. So if you like plus 3 dB on the bass, what I would do after you figure out what you like is actually turn down the treble minus 3, and that way you're not introducing as much distortion. Or what I do is I kind of dial down the treble, and then I get the bass maybe plus 1. So I try to keep the delta the same. So if I want 3 dB or whatever it is, I mean, you're not gonna be able to tell on this one, but if you want the bass up slightly, and if it was there before, I would turn it there and then turn the treble down a bit. Anyway, that's just what I do, and I've heard that it's better for distortion. Is it? I don't know, but that's what I do. Bass is really, really good. I think bass on these is more balanced than the clips, and you can change it by getting it closer to the wall with the rear port. So I found these had a bigger sweet spot than the clips R51M. I found that they sounded their best between about 9 inches to probably 16 inches. So let's talk about mid-range. Mid-range tonality on these is excellent. Instruments sound like instruments. On the Miles Davis record, the saxophone sounds like a saxophone. Voices sound good. An AC/DC on Shoot to Thrill, it's a song off the Back in Black album, also was used in one of the Iron Man movies. Anyway, at the beginning, the guitar, number one, it should kind of crack when it comes in, and number two, on some speakers, it can sound recessed and almost muffled. On these, it is crystal clear and it cracks. And that's what I look for in a speaker. Really, in a speaker, what I look for is if, let's say you've gone to a concert and you've listened to them and it sounded great at the concert. And maybe that artist has a live album. So you go buy that live album and you play it through your speakers. If it sounds like what you remembered the concert sounding like, then it's a good speaker. It's that simple. We don't have to worry about all these measurements. We don't have to worry about comb filtering and other things like that. All we have to worry about is, does it sound like it sounded when you went to the concert? That's it. If it sounds like it, great. If it doesn't, great. Find a speaker that does. It's not complicated. This isn't complicated. None of it is. So mid-range is great. I don't feel like it's rolled off. I feel like the mid-range is better on here than it is on the Klipsch R51M. This speaker does better across a variety of different genres than the Klipsch R51M. I don't feel like it's recessed. I don't feel like it's I don't feel like this speaker really has a U-shape or a V-shaped response. If anything, it has kind of a flat response and then a slight bump on the top end, probably because it has two tweeters. Okay. Let's talk about treble. Again, Some Kind of Blue is an excellent record to test speakers on because the way it's recorded and the cymbals on that record, and I used to play the drums, it sounds like you're there. They call it decay, or so when you hit a cymbal and it kind of, you have the initial hit and then it kind of, the way that the sound is reduced, it's very accurate. It sounds like I'm there. Adele, Hello, that song, not only for the mid-range, but for there's a slight, at the top end, a little bit of a reverb in her voice. And with the super tweeter on this, you can hear a lot of that air hitting the mic, and it's pretty cool. But anyway, when she goes up and she hits that, and it gets a little reverbery, it's incredible. These speakers are trebly without being bright. They're very good. They're very good. Also, these speakers are really dynamic too. So that song, Hello, it starts off with her voice, and then it really kind of comes in after, I don't know, 30 or 40 seconds. And a lot on some speakers that can sound overwhelming, but on this speaker it just sounds balanced. It doesn't get too loud. You still have the good instrument separation. It's great. It's really good. So how are these so good at such a low price? And the only conclusion that I can come to is just the sheer size of Sony. So number one, Sony's probably got access to fairly decent engineers, if not the best engineers. Designing a speaker well and then selling a cajillion of them makes it easier to sell them at lower prices. I'm going to dig into these. I didn't want to take them apart this morning. I want to take a look at their crossover. I'm assuming that whatever they did in there is pretty good, because you have 3 drivers to worry about. You don't just have 2. So you have the woofer, you have the tweeter, then you have the super tweeter. And unless those drivers really have a super linear response, there's got to be a lot going on in the crossover. When you're Sony, though, I mean, you can just make a bunch of these, and the economies of scale kick in. I mean, you can get these at Best Buy, you can get them at Amazon, and they're good. You can get the tower version of this right now for $99 a piece, which is $200 for a set of towers. I don't do towers. I may someday, but I would rather have bookshelves and a sub. Their sub's also $99. This is a kind of a testament to what a big company can do. They're naming the name of this model SSCS5 is a good indication of a large company, how they name speakers. It's just kind of ridiculous. But this is also a good example of what large companies can do with a speaker. Like, this blows Polk speakers away, torches them in every sense of the word. I think these are better than the Klipsch R51M. I really do. And they're half the price. Right now, they're half the price. So what are my final thoughts? If you're just getting into this hobby, I don't think you can find a better speaker than these. I think you really have to get up there to probably the $300 mark. And even then, these speakers are just good, regardless of what their price is. They are that good. I notice a difference when I listen to Klipsch RP600M. A difference. Are they, what is it? They're 430 right now. These are 75 plus 75. Are they 4 times better? No. The Klipsch RP600M are not $400 or 4 times as good as these speakers. If this is your first system, buy these speakers. Then buy one of these little Fozzy Audio Class D amps. You have tone controls and you have Bluetooth. Literally, this is 70, these are 75, so that's like $145, which is cheaper than the Klipsch. So for $145, you could be up and running via Bluetooth. So if you want to put a system in your den, if you want to put a system even outside, I mean, for $75, glue a handle to them and carry them out, get one of these and plug them in and have a good time. Kids system, any system really, use them as surrounds. I don't know, the sky's the limit with these. You can do whatever you want with them, and then if they break, go buy another one. They're that good. I would run, not walk, and go buy these. I'm going to have them linked in the description. I'm also giving away a pair of Klipsch R51Ms. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month, I'll have that linked in there. I'll have the Fozzy Audio linked, little amp in there. And I did test these on most of my testing was an Emotiva T8-100 integrated amp. That's a $400 amp. And I even put these on an Anthem integrated 225, which is a $2,000 integrated in its time. These felt right at home on everything. I wasn't really wanting anything. The only difference I really find when I hooked up the Klipsch, and I listened to the Klipsch RP600M last night, is it throws a way better sound stage than these, and it has better imaging than these, but it doesn't have four times the imaging or 4 times the sound stage. It's a much better speaker, obviously, and it should be. It's $430 now, or $440 now, and $630 when it's not on sale. But you'd be hard pressed to get any speaker that sounds better than these, and these are a more trebly speaker, and generally I don't like trebly speakers as much, but at higher volumes they sounded great. They sounded still balanced. There's something special about these speakers, and there's some type of little Sony magic going on. So I hope they continue to make these. I wish they would make like a 6.5-inch version of these for like 150 or 200 bucks. I just have a feeling it would destroy a lot of other speakers. So with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man. If you're new here, please subscribe. May not mean a lot to you, but it means a lot to me. Like the video if you liked it, and please come on back and take a look at my other videos.